We are live. What's going on, everybody? It is Sean Lou, aka Lyle Lewis, coming at you one more time. Looking at you, two black eyes. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. If you guys can, please click like and subscribe. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please keep tuning us in. Click the bell icon so that in this way, when we come up with more goofy, random, silly, off the wall information, you'll be the first to hear it. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in. So I wanted to go ahead and cover certain individual today, because I really do, I know that a lot of you who are regulars to the show, you guys think that, I'm against this individual, but I mean, I always love him. I was just, between the two, I pick my guy, and then, my boy AOQ, he picks his guy. So, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this man because don't get me wrong, while I do say, I have my opinion, but at the same time, today, and I'm talking about like in today, okay, hands down, I believe that this is one of the most realest martial artists out there. I believe that this individual is somebody who, if you put him on the camera, he's gonna look good, and if you put him on the street fight, he's gonna look good. And that is my boy, Micheal Jai White. Don't just think that just because I would pick Bruce Lee over him that I don't like Micheal Jai White. Again, Micheal Jai White, to me, is the man. To me, don't get me wrong, if we put all martial arts out there, I really do honestly believe, and this isn't throwing shade to any of the other guys. Don't get me wrong. I love all the other martial artists. There are those that are my absolute favorite. But Micheal Jai White is one of those dudes that you just cannot deny. This is one big powerhouse. And of course, I got to cover Micheal Jai White because, little known fact, Micheal Jai White is he is the first. He's the first black guy to play a comic book character. Now, those of you who don't know, Micheal Jai White back in the 90s played Spawn. Okay, was it the 90s? I think it was the 90s. I don't know. He's early, back, way back in the day, before some of y'all was born. But he played Spawn. Now, I don't know if a lot of you are interested in Spawn or if you even know about Spawn, but Spawn is a character about some guy dies, and the devil recruits him to become his tool of destruction, his minister of destruction, or however he puts it. And then, he kind of Spawn defects and starts fighting Satan and starts fighting all forces. He fights against, angels and demons. So, he just kind of he kind of protects this one part of the city and blah, blah, blah. But if you really do read a lot of the Spawn comic books, man, they are bad. They are, and I don't mean bad like bad. I mean like bad, like they are very gruesome and gritty comic books. So to have it be where they had Micheal Jai White to come in and play the character, it was great. The man did a phenomenal job. Micheal Jai White is a very, very, very great martial artist. And this is the reason why, as a martial artist, I look up to Micheal Jai White. Not because he's black, but because he really is a good martial artist. This man knows several fighting styles. Okay? Now, mind you, several of these fighting styles include, I wrote them down, several of these fighting styles include Shotokan, Taekwondo, Kobudo, Goju-Ryu, Tangsudo, Wushu, and Kyokushin. All right? Now, one thing I know is that I love Wushu fighting. And here's a man who knows how to do Wushu fighting. He knows karate and kung fu fighting. All right. Here's a man who one thing I wish I could have seen him do more stuff with weapons. I know he does know how to use nunchucks, but of course, who doesn't know how to use nunchucks? But I've seen a video where he's pretty good with them. And for Micheal Jai White, a lot of you, I don't know who many of you may know Micheal Jai White from one of his big movie roles, which is Universal Soldier Part 2, where, Universal Soldier Part 2, I'm thinking of trying to make sure I get my information straight. I'm thinking of Part 1 at first, but yeah, Universal Soldier Part 2, which starred Jean-Claude Van Damme, Micheal Jai White, and Bill Goldberg, among a couple of others. Very good movie. If you have a chance, check it out. Check out Part 1 and Part 2. But check out Part 2 especially because I'm talking about Micheal Jai White, all right? Any of you guys know Micheal Jai White, please let them know that I'm talking about him. Micheal Jai White, sir, I mean no disrespect. I hope that you tune in. And please, if by any means, please reach out to us here at Two Black Eyes. We'd love to get you on the show. And, man, I'd love to talk to you one day, hopefully spar with you, and hell, whatever. I'd love to, if I could just learn from you for a couple of minutes or hell, whatever. But either way, Again, everybody know, if you don't know, I'm a very big martial arts geek as well as a martial arts practitioner. So I really do actually study martial arts, and so to talk about an individual who is not only an individual who is a comic book character, but he is also an action movie star. I mean, I gotta cover him. That's what Two Black Guys is about. We cover all martial arts things. We cover anime. We cover comic books, and he falls under two of those categories: martial arts and anime. We cover cartoons, which he had his own cartoon out, which is called Black Dynamite. Anybody who has not watched Black Dynamite, oh god, that is a hilarious cartoon. But it's also a real live action movie. So I mean, check them both out. Here's a man who has done many, many, many great things. I love his work, and with Micheal Jai White being the kind of individual who he is, unfortunately, I'm not saying this because I know him personally. I'm just saying this based off of what I've watched. He's an individual who loves to learn as well as loves to teach. Okay, and I say this because I also member of his not a member, but I've liked his channel. That's what I'm trying to say, on YouTube. So he's a fellow YouTuber. And I see him put his stuff out, and believe it or not, I follow him, among others. It's like, follow him, and so far, him and Scott Atkins, so far, there's a couple of other martial artists, but they're not necessarily movie stars that I've seen where they're putting out, like, good stuff. But, I'm following Micheal Jai White. He is a really good movie star and a very good martial artist. And this is the reason why I watch his YouTube channel called Real Micheal Jai White. Check it out. If you have not checked it out, if you want to learn some stuff, he's taught me how to improve my kicks. And I love it where he does that, that side step. Like, I practice that all the time. I love that side step. I love that. Like, it's just, and watch him how he breaks down how not to telegraph punches. And oh man, I love his stuff. Cause I mean, it's like, you can tell like this is a man who's teaching with great experience. He's got years and years of experience. Anyone who hasn't checked it out, look up his I believe it was in the 1980s sometime. He was in a martial arts competition. So I mean, this guy, he has like documented proof that he really does do martial arts. And if I'm not mistaken, he even did say that even like in today, in current times, like he'll go off and like do like tests, like martial arts tests, to like, go up a belt and, all those other kind of stuff. As far as like what level degree black belt he is, that I don't know. I didn't like, Google and praise him that much. A lot of this is just based off of, some of the stuff that I might have Googled. And the other things that I just know because I honestly am a big fan of his. And again, don't allow you, but you said you would pick Bruce Lee over him. Again, I'm sorry. I'm a diehard Bruce Lee fan, and I'm pretty sure Micheal Jai White would not hold that against me, although I'm sure he would say I'm wrong in saying he can't beat Bruce Lee. But again, you know what I'm saying? Always have been a fan of his, even from the first time when I seen him play Tyson. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's one of his first movies. I know that's his first major motion picture where he was a star, was when he played Mike Tyson. And he did a bang-up job. But, I mean, who better to do a job like that than somebody who actually knows about fighting? You know what I'm saying? So Micheal Jai White is like, if I can honestly say, in my own opinion, he is a real deal fighter, okay? Micheal Jai White is, if you have not seen him, Google him, check him out on Facebook. This guy looks like if he really did get you in a fight, like he really could like grab you up and like really like not only can he do all the stuff that he does in his movies. Like, this is the reason why me and AOQ, we had this debate about Bruce Lee and Micheal Jai White. Not so much as because we're trying to say, we like each other because of, one's black or because Bruce Lee is, legendary, but because these are two individuals that if you were to square up with them, they're two individuals who really will they're both going to bring the thunder in a fight. You know what I'm saying? We don't look at them because of race or anything like that. We look at them because of their background, the kind of individuals they are, not only on camera, but off camera, the kind of things that they teach both on camera and off camera. They show that they are the real kind of fighters. Like if you even watch one of Joe Rogan's podcasts, he was even talking about how Micheal Jai White is so powerful, such a powerful individual that, he's a powerful fighter to where it's like he kicked You know what I'm saying? They were showing, they asked him to demonstrate a kick, and he did one of his jumping kick jump. I forget if he said it was like, I forget if it was one of his like skip steps, or if it was just like a jump side kick. But he said he side kicked the bag so hard, knocked it off the doggone chain. So I mean, like, if that doesn't say something about how powerful this guy is, like, who wouldn't? Like, I am like when I see, like, when I hear stuff like that, and I know my intentions of one day wanting to meet him and work with him whenever I get to start doing movies in the future, which, you know, that will be coming up soon. You guys stay tuned. But whenever I do get to doing movies in the future, I would love to, you know, work with him on set. I would love for him to, you know, I would love to just learn from him, watch him, you know, fight with him. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to be an individual who we're enemies on a movie, and then another instance where we're, you know, working together on the movie. Like I like he like, you know, I'm a fan. I'm sorry, I'm a great fan because, like I said, you know, because I mean, you could tell, not just because of his size, you know, like, you know, don't get me wrong, size does, you know, for you with the dirty minds, size does matter. But, you know, size does matter in fighting. All right. Now, whatever it is you're thinking about, that's you. But size does matter in a fight. And that's what AOQ always says. Size matters in a fight. They have weight classes for a reason. And that is very true. And when you look at Micheal Jai White, he looks like he is one hell of a heavyweight contender. He looks like the kind of individual, like, you really got to know your stuff getting in the ring with him. When he did the movie Undisputed 2 with Scott Adkins, oh God, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, it's don't get me wrong. When you look at an individual like Micheal Jai White and you see what he brings to the table, he not only can, you know, throw hands as far as he makes it look good when he's throwing the punches. And I'm not saying this, don't take this the wrong way. I say this, I'm not saying this to his discredit. I say this to his credit as an actor. Not only can he throw hands on screen, but he can take a punch on screen. Like, you got a lot of, like, I watch a lot of martial arts movies. I love martial arts movies. I do. But there are tons of martial arts movies where when you watch the individuals throwing the punches and you watch the individuals taking the punches, you're just like, yeah, that's kind of horrible. Because one, by trade, I am, you know, originally by trade, both me and AOQ are graphic designers. So it's like we watch movies from a whole different angle than a lot of other people do, you know. And I watch movies from a completely whole different angle because one day I would, you know, I'm looking to be a producer and a director and, you know, editor and, you know, a stunt choreographer, stunt coordinator for movies and things like that. You know, again, one day, you guys wait, movies are coming. You know, I'm looking to do those things. So when I see a lot of these martial arts movies and I see like the reaction and I see him get hit and I see, like, you know, the editing, and I'm like, oh God, that's horrible. Yeah, that's bad. But when I look at Micheal Jai White do his stuff, the man knows how to make it all look good. You know what I'm saying? There's the same with Bruce Lee. Like we said, this is the reason why me and AOQ, we always are talking about those two, because again, they make this stuff look good on screen, and they have a record of making it look good off screen. All right. Joe Rogan was saying on his podcast, if you don't, Joe Rogan listen to his podcast, great guy. He's got good topics and stuff of all kinds on his podcast. But when he was talking about Micheal Jai White, he was saying that when he kicked the bag off of the chain, he was saying, like, they were laughing about it, like, you know, like, if anybody were to tell a movie star to do this, like, nobody would really believe it if we hadn't seen it for ourselves. And I honestly do. I wouldn't have to see it. I honestly do believe that Micheal Jai White, like, I believe if you would have set up like 5 punching bags, he probably could knock off like 3 out of 5 of them just off the chain, just like really just 100%. I mean, I don't know, you know, maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but I don't think so. You know, I really do honestly see him as a serious powerhouse. But like I said, this is the reason why we, you know, me and AOQ always go back and forth about Micheal Jai White and Bruce Lee, because these are two individuals who are like, they're full-on powerhouses. When you look at them on screen and off screen, like, they're just full-on, like, you know, when they're on screen, it's going to look good. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be something that you can enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Both as somebody who's watching movies and as a martial artist. Micheal Jai White is such a great actor. Like, I wish that we could have seen him in much more movies. But at the same time, I do understand why a lot of his movies are, because he's got his own I think it's Gigantic Productions. Check it out online, Gigantic Productions. But you see a lot of times where he's got a lot of movies, and yeah, they go to the theaters and whatnot. And they may not necessarily be as 100% great and big and popular as many others, but I understand why, because Michael Jai White. When you get a lot of into Hollywood, a lot of times it's like, unfortunately, they have their way of doing things, and sometimes they just don't know how to really bring it properly. But when Michael Jai White steps on the scene, like, his stuff looks good, because he 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't be surprised if he steps on the scene, kind of takes the reins, like, hey, look, what you guys are trying to do is okay, but I got a standard to uphold. Hey, and I mean, why not? I mean, hey, I'm sure all the other martial arts do this. Why not? So but I mean, if it was down to it, I mean, I would honestly say, in today's time, of course, my favorite martial artist out today, most favorite one, it right now is Donnie Yen. But I mean, it's like Michael Jai White is like, he's my. I love I love martial arts, and I love martial artists. All right. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not just going to get on the show and just be like, he's my number one absolute most favorite. No, I'd say honestly, like he, like I said, Donnie Yen looks like, but like, compared to it, but I say this to Michael Jai White's credit, although Donnie Yen is he's my number one favorite, Michael Jai White is an individual, like I said, looks like if he had to really actually bring it on and off camera. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Donnie Yen can't, because Donnie Yen is also he's a real martial artist as well. But I do honestly believe that between the two, like, on screen and off screen, Jai White would bring it probably a bit harder. You know what I'm saying? So, so I mean, Michael Jai White, he's been in tons and tons of movies. And there's a lot of movies that maybe a lot of you don't know about. But, I did Google some of these movies, because there's a lot of these movies that I have watched. And I want you guys to go ahead and just check them out, okay? I got to find the page. Let's see. I got to go back and find the page. I Googled them because I want to make sure that I get them all right, Yeah, I gotta go back and find the page. All right. So you have it where he did there's a movie. Here's some of the movies, so you guys can go check them out. It is, I assure you, hours and hours of entertainment. This guy is one hell of a great entertainer, and he knows how to throw hands, and he knows how to make it look real good, real professional. And his stuff looks good. Like, his stuff looks picture perfect. All right. And I'm not talking about just on screen. I'm talking about in real life. Like, when he practices, like when I see him do his tutorials and stuff like that on YouTube, I see like he really is like doing the stuff like he's talking, like he talks about like how to chamber and all this. Like, he goes into a lot of different things, but the stuff comes out and it looks good, and you can tell like this is really him. He's not putting on the front. He's not just trying to show you, but this is really how he practices, how he knows it, and how he executes it. Gotta love an individual who not only has the talk, but he's got the walk. You gotta love that about an individual, all right? But let's go on with the movie. So, Blood and Bone, Never Back Down Part 2, Spawn. Let's see, Falcon Rising. That was a real good one. I love Falcon Rising. Undisputed 2, which was, one of oh God, him and Scott Adkins. If you have not seen Undisputed 2, you got to watch that one. And real funny one that I love to see, Black Dynamite. He was that is, if you haven't seen the movie and and watched the cartoon, oh, trust me, treat yourself. It is a delight. I assure you. Let's see. He did another Never Back Down. He was in Tactical Force with Stone Cold. Let's see. Skin Trade. Tyson, of course, like I covered. Universal Soldier. Oh yeah, he was played in Mortal Kombat, which is it's like, man, that was so but it's like a web. If you go online, I forget, man, I watched it, but it's a online series. They were going to make it into a movie, but then they kind of turned it into an online series. And it's I think it's like maybe 1 or 2 seasons out. You good stuff. You gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. He plays Jax Briggs in Mortal Kombat. Good stuff. I loved it. I loved him, his character as Jax. He seems to fit the part. I mean, what better person fit a big, strong, muscular black dude that really looks like he can really whoop somebody's behind? Like, I mean, who better to play him than Jax? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, than Michael Jai White. I mean, hey, I believe that, man. That I wish to God that they really would have made the actual movie that would have went to theaters. I really do wish that they would have put him as Jack, because God, that would have been just like that's like the man. To a certain extent, I'm glad that they did not make him Jax in Mortal Kombat 2 way back in the day. To a certain extent, only because it was like my Mortal Kombat 2. Well, of course, like I said, I'm a martial artist. I love martial arts movie, and I love Mortal Kombat. Love Mortal Kombat. Grew up on Mortal Kombat, but Mortal Kombat 2, even back in the day, was kind of cheesy. I mean, I'm sorry, it was. Although I loved it, again, but I love it because I'm a martial arts nut. I love it. I love martial arts movies. But I mean, it's still kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? But if you make a martial arts movie today, and a real one, like I love the Sub-Zero, not the Sub-Zero, but the Scorpion movie that they did. The Mortal Kombat, I think it was the Mortal Kombat movie about Scorpion. And oh God, I love that. But you know what I'm saying? I want them to make a full-on like Mortal Kombat movie with all the characters, where it's like, and I pray that if they do, that they call Michael Jai White and say, "Get your behind over here, we need you," because that would be so phenomenal. I would love to see him in that doggone movie. What else we got? Oh, why did I get married and why did I get married too? Yeah, honestly, Michael Jai White really does have good comedic timing. This shows that this man is an all-around actor. He's not just a one-sided actor where he just does action movies. He can actually really do, if I'm not mistaken, there's another movie out called Pandora's Box, which is kind of like it's like if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of like a drama movie. I will honestly say I never got a chance to watch that. It came out that I believe it either came out in the late 90s or the early 2000s. And as a kid, I was a kid, then I didn't really get a chance to watch it. But I remember that came out. I think that was a drama movie, but I heard that Michael Jai White did very good in that movie. It shows like Michael Jai White, he's an all-around kind of guy. He can do comedy, he can do drama, he can act. You know what I'm saying? And that's very, very good for an individual who's of his caliber. It shows like, again, he's not a one-sided guy. He can, he can jump in the comedic scene and do very good, or he can do in the drama scene. Because if you watch Why Did I Get Married and Why Did I Get Married Too, that was like a comedy drama, comedy, a com drama, whatever you want to call it, and he, when it was time for the drama parts, he brought, he was good. And when it's time for the comedy parts, he was good. So I love him as an actor and I love him as a martial artist, So don't get it twisted that just because you hear me saying that Bruce Lee, that I'm just like, I'm completely against him. No, I love Michael Jai White. I really do. You know what I'm saying? It's just, hey, again, like I said, I have my opinion and you know what I'm saying? But again, one of my main opinions is that in today's time, like bringing it, he's the man. All right. So, I just wanted to go ahead and bring that, we got it where, bunch of other stuff that's going on, tons of other movies. And the only reason why I named a few of those movies is because those were movies for the most part that I've watched. I think out of all those movies, the only one that I haven't watched was Pandora's Box. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see if it's even in here in the list. But like I said, there's a lot of movies that I have not watched that he was in. But and I'm looking to get caught up because a lot of movies he's getting a lot of movies, and I'm looking to get caught up on a lot of the movies that he has done. And I mean, I look forward to seeing more stuff from him, and I pray that he has an even that his career becomes even greater than what it is. And hey, I hope that one day me and him can work together, spar together, become friends. Mad love to you, Mr. Jai White. Thank you very much for all the years of entertainment that you've provided. And, thank you for your martial arts skills. And thank you for sharing all of that with us. Two Black Eyes, we see you. We thank you truly deeply. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. You guys leave this episode. Before you leave, please click like, subscribe, give us some kills, give us some clisses. Please hit the bell icon so that in this way, when I have other individuals that I'd like to bring to you, you guys will be the first to know who I'm talking about. So again, thank you, Micheal Jai White. Thank you to all my listeners on YouTube. And by all means, I will check you guys later. Until then, do your thing. Be you. Later. Sean Liu, rolling out.